But first to the latest instalment in the political drama surrounding the fall of Chinese Communist Party heavyweight Bo Xilai. A court in Anhui has sentenced Mr Bo's wife Gu Kailai to death, but suspended for 2 years, for the murder of British businessman Neil Heywood. And one of the big remaining questions is what it means for her husband's future. China correspondent Huey Fern Tay was at the court in Anhui for the verdict. Fern, what was it like for the sentencing? Heavy security, very restricted access for journalists, I understand.
Yes, Jim, security was very tight outside this courthouse in Hefei, Anhui province, which is in the southeast part of China. All the roads leading to this courthouse were blocked. There were police at every point, plainclothes and uniformed as well. Reporters from the foreign media were not allowed into the courthouse, and that is precisely what happened during the trial as well. Only a select group of people were allowed into the courthouse to hear the judge hand down the verdict and the sentence for Gu Kailai, the family employee, and 4 other senior police officials who covered up the murder of English businessman Neil Heywood.
Was the sentence any real surprise, though?
Jim, there's a lot of debate about whether this sentence should be considered a light one or not. Because on the face of it, it seems pretty harsh. Because after all, there is a death sentence hanging over her if she does not show any good behavior while she's behind bars over the next 2 years. But on the other hand, some people, like the human rights organization based in San Francisco called the Duihua Foundation, they have pointed out that Gu Kailai perhaps could be out in about 9 years on medical parole. And this is because during the course of the trial, the court heard that Gu Kailai had a history of mental illness, chronic insomnia, depression, and that she had developed a dependency on drugs. And indeed, today when the court explained how it had reached its verdict, it said that it basically accepted the defense lawyer's argument that Gu Kailai was not of sound mind when she murdered Neil Heywood.
Has there been any reaction to the sentence within China, in either social media or in the state media? Well,
the reports that have been put out by China's media have all basically followed a template. They've basically republished whatever's been put out by China's official media. And in fact, there is some sort of censorship online as well, because if you look at these reports on various websites, you can't post any comments on these reports. And if you look online on China's version of Twitter, Weibo, some believe firmly that Gu Kailai has been made a scapegoat. And then there are some who believe that she got off too lightly, because they point out that there are others in China who have been given the death sentence straight away without any possibility of parole, even though they too have killed someone, taken someone's life.
Finally, what does this sentence tell us, if anything, about what may happen to Gu Kailai's husband, to Bo Xilai?
Jim, the fate of Bo Xilai is still very much unknown because we don't even know where he is. We believe that he's been detained. He hasn't been seen in public since he was sacked as party boss of Chongqing in March. Since then he's been suspended from all positions within China's Communist Party and has been accused of serious disciplinary violations against the party. But exactly what those violations are, we really don't know as well. So right now we have to wait and see, what those violations are and what the party's disciplinary board or committee recommend be done. Will criminal charges be pressed, and if so, what sort? And also, will all this be wrapped up before China's leadership transition begins, in just a few months?